Jake Paul is set to take on boxing icon Mike Tyson in mid-November in their rearranged clash Arlington, Texas. But the fight could have dramatic circumstances should the former win. Mike Tyson injury in Jake Paul fight could see call for boxing to be banned. Jake Paul has been warned there could be calls to ban boxing should he do Mike Tyson damage. Hey, what's up, fight fans? Today, we're tackling a massive topic that's got everyone talking. Why Mike Tyson's injury in the Jake Paul fight could call for boxing to be banned. Yeah, you heard that right. Banned. If you thought this was just another celebrity boxing event, think again. Tyson's rumored injury could have ripple effects across the entire sport. Mike Tyson. The name alone strikes fear and excitement in boxing fans all over the world. Iron Mike, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, has seen it all inside the ring. From his meteoric rise to the top in the late 80s to his redemption arc. In recent years, Tyson's legacy is cemented in the annals of boxing history. But in 2024, he stepped into the ring once again, this time against YouTube sensation Jake Paul. A fight that, on paper, seemed like just another money-making spectacle has suddenly taken a dark turn. Rumors of Tyson suffering a severe injury during training, or worse, during the fight, have sparked serious discussions about the future of boxing itself. The pair face off in Arlington, Texas, on November 15th. The fight comes after the original bout was cancelled after a medical emergency for the former heavyweight champion of the world, and there is still major concern about Tyson's health. The 58-year-old recently admitted that it is hard to walk after training, while he will also face a medical ahead of his clash with Paul. But former boxer Paulie Malignaggi has now warned Paul that viewers could potentially demand that the whole sport be banned should he deal out some damage to his upcoming opponent. He said, "Head blows from young, strong guys at Mike's age aren't good. When you're younger, you can handle hits better. When you're older, your body isn't made for that kind of damage anymore. Things could go badly wrong. If something like that happened, people would be calling for the sport to be banned. Personally, I don't think his fight with Jake Paul should happen. He'll be 58 years old by then. 58 is still 58. We live in a generation that doesn't understand aging is a real thing. You can show highlights of Mike from the 80s, but the guy stepping into the ring won't be that same Mike Tyson." Malignaggi's warning continued, with the Americans seriously concerned that Paul could harm Tyson given his age. Speaking to Canada Casino, he added, "Jake Paul might not be world-class, but he's certainly not a novice. He's been boxing for about 5 years. After 4 years of boxing, I won the US National Championships, so Jake's far from a beginner. He's strong and young. Hitting someone Tyson's age has serious risks. Tyson wasn't taking punches well at 36, let alone now. If you hit a guy who's that old, it affects them. Imagine what getting hit by a strong guy like Jake would do to him. I wouldn't want to find out." Malignaggi is not the only one to have been left concerned by the upcoming fight. UFC Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock believes that supporters could effectively be left in mourning for a boxing icon should Paul claim victory. "Here's what I say, because like I said, I think what Jake Paul and them guys are doing is brilliant. I really do," said Shamrock. "I think them never fighting a contender but making more money than any world championship fight is brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant, but this one's not good. Because Jake Paul can't win. If Paul wins, there's a huge bad taste in the world of boxing. It's a disappointment to an organization that has loved Mike Tyson. It is like the death of somebody, and it should be victorious for Jake Paul, and I think on that small group of people that are following, yes, but in that whole atmosphere of boxing, it's gonna feel like somebody died." Mike Tyson has insisted money is not a motivating factor in his fight with Jake Paul. The legendary heavyweight is set to make his return to boxing for the first time in 4 years after taking on Roy Jones Jr. in an exhibition bout in 2020. Iron Mike's last professional fight was almost 2 decades ago, however, when he retired on his stool after 5 rounds against Kevin McBride in 2020-2005. Tyson and Paul were due to clash in the summer, but the heavyweight legend was forced to postpone his return to the ring after suffering from an inflamed ulcer. He was forced to stop training on his doctor's orders, but has recently returned to the gym and insists he will be ready to walk to the ring later this year. Tyson and Paul were due to clash in the summer, but the heavyweight legend was forced to postpone his return to the ring after suffering from an inflamed ulcer. He was forced to stop training on his doctor's orders, but has recently returned to the gym and insists he will be ready to walk to the ring later this year. Here's what I say, because like I said, I think what Jake Paul and them guys are doing is brilliant. I really do, Shamrock said. I think them never fighting a contender, but making more money than any world championship fight is brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant, but this one's not good, because Jake Paul can't win. So, where does this leave us? Could Mike Tyson's injury actually lead to boxing being banned? While it might sound extreme, it's not impossible. Governments and sports organizations have banned certain combat sports before due to safety concerns. Mixed martial arts, MMA, faced similar bans in the 1990s until it introduced stricter regulations. If Tyson's injury is severe enough, it could spark a movement for more stringent rules, or in the worst-case scenario, the end of boxing as we know it. Now, banning boxing entirely is unlikely in the short term, but Tyson's injury could lead to new calls for reform. Maybe we'll see stricter age limits for fighters, or mandatory medical clearances that are more rigorous than they are now. But one thing is for sure. This injury has sparked a serious conversation about the future of the sport. But here's the big twist. Reports are surfacing that Mike Tyson may have sustained a serious injury during his preparation for the fight, or possibly even during the match itself. While details are scarce, what we do know is that the injury has raised concerns, not just about Tyson's health, but about the safety of boxing as a sport. Could this incident be the catalyst for a movement to ban boxing altogether? Fighting at that age is incredibly dangerous. The body simply doesn't heal like it used to. Cuts take longer to close, muscles are more prone to tears, and the risk of long-term damage, including brain trauma, increases dramatically. That's why this injury, if it's as bad as people are saying, could be a huge wake-up call for the entire sport. All right, so it looks like Jake Paul might have just hit rock bottom after his recent encounter with Mike Tyson. If you thought Jake's boxing career was already on thin ice, well, things just got a whole lot worse. The YouTuber-turned-boxer reportedly got absolutely dismantled by the legendary Iron Mike Tyson. And no, this wasn't during an official match. What went down happened during what was supposed to be a simple sparring session. But leave it to Tyson to turn even that into something that felt more like a title fight. Word on the street is that Tyson hit Jake with a knockout blow, and now people are seriously questioning whether Jake's boxing career is over before it even really began. So, here's the deal. Jake Paul had been gearing up for what was supposed to be a massive, highly anticipated showdown with Mike Tyson. Fans were buzzing about the matchup. Jake Paul, the YouTuber who's been making waves in the boxing world, squaring off against one of the most feared heavyweights in history. It was shaping up to be one of the biggest spectacles in recent boxing memory. But things took a turn before the fight was even officially set. According to multiple sources, Jake and Mike decided to have a private sparring session. You know, just to get a feel for each other before the real deal. But of course, with Tyson in the ring, nothing is ever just a spar. What was supposed to be a low-key tune-up quickly escalated into something far more intense. Jake, who's built his entire brand on confidence and bravado, stepped into the ring thinking he could hold his own. Big mistake. Mike Tyson didn't come to play games. Let's not forget, this is the same guy who used to knock people out cold in his prime. And even at 58 years old, Tyson is still a force of nature in the ring. Reports say that during the sparring session, Jake was throwing punches, dancing around the ring like he usually does, but he was in way over his head. Mike, with all his experience, saw right through Jake's moves. And then it happened. Out of nowhere, Tyson landed a clean, brutal punch that sent Jake crashing to the canvas. And this wasn't one of those light taps you throw when you're just sparring. No, this was a full-force, lights-out hit, the kind of punch that makes you question all your life choices. Jake was reportedly left stunned, struggling to get back on his feet, This wasn't just a blow to his body, it was a gut punch to his entire career. And here's where things get even crazier. Even though this was supposed to be a private sparring session, news spread like wildfire. So, what do you think? Should boxing be banned if injuries like this continue to happen? Or is this just part of the game? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more in-depth boxing analysis and news.